Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here again with you to talk about our class. Apparently, today I cannot come to class because I have to attend an FGD organized by one of the units on campus. So instead of being there with you, introducing what the course is about, I will be doing that here. All right. So in short, I will give you an overview of what our semester will look like. I will introduce to you what this course is about, and then what objectives we can expect to achieve at the end of the course, and of course, the assessments of this course. It will be about what big quizzes you will be doing and what final exam you will be doing. In addition to that, I will guide you through the week by week activities of this semester. Right, let's now start with the first thing. What is the course about? The course, Literary Translation, is a course that introduces you to the basic principles of literary translation and then applying the principles in your own project of literary translation. In our course, this basic principles of literary translation will be applied in translating prose, children's stories, and audiovisual works. In addition to that, the basic principles of literary translation will also be applied in adapting a text. You will learn about one word today that many of you might never have heard of. All right. So that's the course is about, introducing you to the basic principles of literary translation, and then guiding you through the process of applying the principles of literary translation in your project, and finally creating your own literary translation that people can enjoy. Right, next, what are the objectives of this course? So these are what you can expect to gain by the end of the semester. First, you will understand the basic theories of literary translation, and then you will be able to apply the theories or the knowledge in translating a children's short story. And then you will also be able to apply the same principle in translating audiovisual materials. After that, you will learn one theory called transcreation, in which you will where you will also apply that principle in adapting a literary work or translating a commercial, an ad. And last but not least, you will be able to review other people's translation and create in a collaborative work a translation. So these are the objectives of this course. And as usual, to measure whether you successfully achieve the goals, we have assessments. As usual, you know. What are the assessments? Oops, I think I put a wrong slide here. But before going to the assessment, let me show you here the required texts, articles, and works that you will need to read in this course. The first one is a theory of literary translation. It's the one by Lenders. There's another one, a theory on translating audiovisual materials by Cintas. And there's also an article on how to translate comics. That's a totally different thing, right? And you will also have to read short stories by Indonesian writers. Why Indonesian writers? Well, of course, you are translating literature into Indonesian. So it's impossible not to be familiar with Indonesian literature, because the people who will read your translation are those who enjoy reading Indonesian literature. So their measurement or their standard of beauty in the language comes from the standard of beauty in Indonesian literature. And last but not least, you will need to read the latest Indonesian standards in spelling, ejaan yang disempurnakan, which is edition 5. So these are what you are expected to read throughout this semester. And then to measure whether you are successful in achieving the goals, we have assessments. These are what you will be doing throughout the semester. There's 4 big quizzes that we have, starting from the theory of literary translation and applying the theory in translating a children's story. The second one is translation of a video clip. You will apply the principles of literary translation. You will learn how to operate a software to translate, to give subtitles. And then you apply the principles in translating one clip. After that, you will do a transcreation job. A transcreation is, well, in short, creative translation. Here, people usually apply the principles of transcreation in translating ads, commercials. Or you can also apply the principles of transcreation in adapting a story. When you read a story, for example, from India, you don't have to translate everything, right? In fact, while the main part of the story is very meaningful universally, some of the elements of the story are very local, and you don't think you will find it useful if Indonesian readers read the entirety. So you will have to adapt the story to make the story acceptable in the target context. That's what you will be doing, transcreation. And finally, you have a final project of translating a short story, and you have a partner to do that. And the final product of this final project is text translation and podcasts. But before going to the final project, you will have to do big quiz 4, which is reporting the progress of your effort to complete this final project. In short, or in other words, I can say that you will start working on your final project several weeks before the finals week. Say, probably in week 14, you will start working on your final project. In week 15, I will ask you to report to me the progress of your working on the final project. And that report, the progress report, is big quiz 4. Finally, these are some examples of final projects done by students in the previous semester. I don't mean to recycle assignments. There will be adjustments to this assignment, but see this just so you know the kind of work you are expected to do. These are some of the best works. Some other works are also good and enjoyable to read. You can Google them, but these are what I recommend to you to read or to listen to. Actually, it's a podcast. All right. Now, let me show you the week-by-week tentative schedule. First week, it's general introduction to literary translation. That's what I am now doing. At the end of this session, there will be a pretest that I expect you to do individually, so I know your level of literary translation skill for now. And then there's this theory of literary translation and translating children's stories here. Later on, there's also a discussion on, there's also a presentation on audiovisual translation, translating audiovisual materials. Next, transcreation, in which you will translate an advertisement and adapt a story. Then we will go back to translating prose again. This is preparation towards your final exam. And your final exam is this full short story translation. And there's also a reflection as usual, because it is important for you to reflect on what you have done. Right. Now, before I close the session, I wanted to tell you about this fundamental difference between this course and another translation course that you are taking this semester, which is English for Social Sciences. In English for Social Sciences, you will translate informational texts that people find in journals or in newspapers or journalism. Now, when you translate such materials, one thing is very important, which is accuracy. You are expected to be able to represent what the text says in another language. So accuracy is one of the standards of success in translating social sciences text. In literary translation, however, it's a slightly different thing. Literary translation is a project of translating literature, aesthetic works. Aesthetic works is a work that is useful in its own. A literary work is not useful in the sense that you can use it to solve a problem, or you read it to learn about something, or you read it to learn about a practical thing. No. Literary works are aesthetic works. They are important in themselves, and you read them because you need to read them. You read them not because you want to find information. You read them. Some literary works are read because you want some entertainment. The importance is in this own work, not because of something else outside. So you read literary works for enjoyment, for entertainment, and for personal enrichment, for spiritual guidance, and so on. Now, when you translate something like that, you need to make sure that this work is fun to read, enjoyable to read, and makes the reader really have a good time reading it. In such situation, what you need is translating that makes people enjoy reading. It's no longer about accuracy per se. Accuracy is still important, but on top of that, you need to be able to make it enjoyable. You need to make it enjoyable to read, joyous to read. What? Is that the word? Well, basically, when people read your translation, they need to be able to enjoy it. That's the bottom line. So in English for Social Sciences, you focus on accuracy. Here, you focus on enjoyment. You need to make sure that this translation is fun to read. That's it. All right, everyone. I guess that's all. After this, I will give you one text that hopefully you can translate and show me your level of literary translation so far. I guess that's all, everyone. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Thursday morning. Bye.